Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Steph Castelein. I help new bloggers start and grow their blogs. And today I'm going to be sharing 6 reasons why my blog failed. I asked on Instagram what you guys would rather see. I did a little poll. You guys overwhelmingly asked for this one, and so I'm going to share some ideas, some thoughts that I have, and some things that you can do differently if you are just starting your blog. It's been kind of humbling going through like the memories of starting my blog, the blogs that have failed, and writing it all down to share with you guys. But I do want you to remember one thing throughout this entire video, and that is, it's only a failure if you don't learn from it. Just because you might have failed at something doesn't mean that you're a failure. If you have learned from it and grown from it or pivoted because of it, like, you are a better person, you're in a different place, and that failure has actually served you. Honestly, as I am thinking about these ideas, one of the things that I keep going back to of how I got to where I am today is that I didn't give up. Now, I know that sounds so universal, like a blanket statement, like good one, Steph. You got where you are today because you didn't give up. But the truth is I have failed. I started a blog that is no longer live anymore. I actually started a second blog that is no longer live anymore. I have felt like a failure because I wasn't making a certain amount of money after a certain amount of time. So if this sounds familiar, maybe you've started a blog or 2 blogs and you're no longer blogging or don't know where to take it, or it's not growing as fast as you want it to. It's so frustrating. Just remember, it's only a failure if you don't learn from it. You have learned so much, even from those failures. You have learned so much. So take what you've learned and turn it into something that you're proud of, that you're excited about, and that you can continue to add value for other people. Okay, that was my little pep talk to remind you that we all have a story and that you are capable of something great, okay? So now let's get into the 6 reasons why my blog failed. The first reason is that I didn't have a plan. I thought I could write that people would find me and it would magically grow on its own. I didn't have a clear vision of what I wanted my blog to be. I didn't have a niche. I did not have a defined audience, and I had unrealistic expectations of how often I was going to write. And when I did write, I wasn't confident in what I was creating. And I'll talk about that in another point, but without a niche and without a defined audience, my blog became a hobby. It felt like something I was just, doing now and gonna see what happened, and if it grew and made money, awesome, and if not, no big deal. You know what happens when you approach something with that attitude? Nothing happens. When you are creating something as abstract as blogging, and I say abstract because the life of blogging and a website continues to evolve over time. It's not like I'm creating a product and selling it to you for a transaction and that's it. Like, the life of a blog continues to evolve and change and grow, as you do, as SEO changes, as analytics change. And so that's what I mean by abstract. But you need a plan. You need a vision for where you're going and a plan to get there. You don't have to have it all figured out, and you probably won't. I guarantee you will not right away. But without a heading and a niche and without a defined audience, your blog is going to stay a hobby and it's never going to grow into a business. The second reason is that I tried to do it all. I had built my website and was creating blog content. I started a separate Instagram account. I started a separate Facebook page. I was doing emails, and I was just doing everything, and it was all too much. I became overwhelmed not only by the content that I was creating, like keeping up with all of that, but also keeping up with engaging with my followers, because to me, that's the most important part, was establishing a relationship, and I couldn't be present on all the platforms all the time. And that is a recipe for a quick burnout for anyone. Now, promoting your content on different social channels is definitely beneficial to you. Of course, the more that it can be seen on different platforms, the more traffic that you're going to generate to your actual blog. And that's a good thing. Like, I see the benefits of social media. What I would advise against is doing them all at once right away. Master one platform, get really good at one platform, and then move on to the next. When you feel like you have to constantly keep up and are doing a bunch of things okay instead of a few things really, really well, like, that's when something has to go. There's also this thing called productive procrastination. I did an entire video on it that you can go watch. I'll put a card up here and a link down below. It's this idea that what you're creating is productive, perhaps. You're sending people to your blog or you're creating awareness for your brand, but at its core, it's procrastination. We get instant satisfaction from social media. We get likes, we get comments, we can go on over and over and refresh and see what people are saying, how people are interacting with our content, and that fills us up. But creating a sales funnel, creating a lead magnet, diving into SEO, those are kind of long-term, again, more abstract ideas that don't bring that instant gratification. I mean, I still find myself focusing on the content I'm putting on Instagram rather than creating quality blog posts, and that is so backwards. I could dive deep into this because I struggle with it so much, but I'll just let you go watch the video. But yeah, point number 2, I tried to do it all and instantly became overwhelmed. Too much. Too much. The third reason is perfection paralysis. It felt like everything that I was creating had to be absolutely perfect. You know, I'm not the only blogger out there. I'm not the only person in my niche talking about these things. So why would people choose to follow me? Like, I didn't need those absolutely stunning photos or a drone to take my blog to the next level. It was my experiences, it was my stories, it was the people I met along the way. That's what actually matters. Don't look at all these successful bloggers and think that you have to have it perfect. What do they say? Fail forward. So try new things, experiment with photos, write content, engage with your audience. Continue to put yourself out there and be willing to fail, but fail forward. I'm gonna throw another quote at you because you guys know that I love them. Done is better than perfect. Remember, you learn through action. The fourth reason my blog failed is that I didn't find this special. When I announced that I was starting a blog, it felt like it had to be grand. It felt like what I was creating had to be grand, that the photos had to be grand, that I had to do videos and they had to be grand, and everything had to be so grand. Where in reality, my days felt very ordinary. So let's go back to when I was traveling. I was backpacking in Europe alone. Like, that's pretty cool. But for me, it was my life. Like, it's what I was choosing to do. It's, you know, I wake up in a new hostel, I hop on a new bus, I meet some new friends, I get lost and find my way back home, aka to my hostel. Those were all just daily things. And I can look back now and be like, wow, how did I do that? How did I not share those stories with others? Because those are pretty cool. I was stuck in the ordinary. But when you become a blogger and you're sharing stories, you need to find the special. One of the constant themes in all of the writing books that I've read is that writers pay attention. How can you take the ordinary and make it extraordinary? Now, I'm not saying that every blog post has to be epic, like grand and massive and you're doing something crazy and living life to the fullest. No, I'm not saying that at all. What you need to do is find the special by adding value. So you're either educating or teaching people around a topic or a step-by-step or helping them learn something new, or you're telling stories that will help them in some way from your own experience. You are adding value always. That is how you find the special in the ordinary. You guys, one of the bloggers that I follow does crockpot freezer meals. I'm gonna be honest, I love crockpot freezer meals, but they are definitely not epic. But she is adding value. Her special in something so ordinary is helping people like you and me with busy schedules, with kids, with lots of things going on, make their evening routines, make their suppers, make their dinners that much more simplified. She is paying attention to how her family feels when they're rushed, when they don't have dinner, and she's providing a solution for that. She's paying attention to how her family feels when they do have dinners prepared and ready and finding the special in that. Do you follow what I'm saying? Adding value is going to help you find the special in the ordinary, and it's going to help you share your experiences through blog posts to help other people. It's so darn exciting. And I just this is one of those things that I want to encourage you to find the special. Continue to pay attention, find the special, help people, add value. You can do it. That's what it's about. The fifth reason was a lack of confidence. I was scared to put myself out there. Again, talking about that imposter syndrome, that was very real. I downplayed what I was doing. I was like, yeah, I'm trying out this blogging thing. We'll see. Instead of owning it and being confident in what I was creating and the content that I was putting out for people and the value that I was providing, I just downplayed and was like, meh. It's no big deal. And this had to do with feeling like a fraud because, again, there are so many ways to do everything. You talk about chili, there are a million different chili recipes out there and everyone's gonna have a different opinion on them. And that was really something I had to overcome with my blog, was my opinions and what I'm putting out there aren't going to be for everyone, and that's okay. They're not made for everyone. but what I'm discovering and creating and recommending will work for a lot of people. When you have that defined and specific niche and you have that defined and specific audience, like what you're creating is going to be for them. This also created a limiting belief with partnerships. Like I thought, why would people choose me? There's so many other people out there. Or I don't have enough followers for this yet. Or I haven't created enough content for this yet. And that really hindered me from taking advantage of different opportunities, from putting myself out there and having the confidence to just like own what I was creating. And then I started to feel even more behind because I saw other people around me, kind of like peer bloggers. I'm from Pierre, South Dakota, so a different kind of peer. But anyway, my peer bloggers were, you know, getting these opportunities and putting themselves out there and reaching out to 10 people and getting 1 yes and 9 no's. And I didn't have the confidence to do that. And so as they continue to find these partnerships and kind of grow and accelerate, I was still here because I wasn't putting myself out there. And guys, I'm talking about confidence and like I have it all figured out, but I still struggle with these things. It's one of the things of blogging, of putting yourself out there, finding that confidence in your work, finding that confidence in what you're creating, finding the confidence to send people to your blog and website and like own it. I mean, I still struggle with those things. Looking back at the beginning, like that is one of the reasons that I gave up my blog in the first place. And the sixth and final reason, actually there's probably like a lot more reasons that I could come up with, but the sixth reason is time. I didn't give myself enough time to let my blog evolve. Looking back now, it was slowly becoming something. It was slowly becoming something that I was excited about, that people were recognizing, that people were knowing me for, that I was continuing to learn from, and it just didn't feel like it was growing fast enough. And again, going back to that not having a specific niche and not having a defined audience, like it felt more like a hobby, and it was a lot easier to give up on that hobby than to like take it seriously and be like, I am doing this thing. Because that's the voice I use when I'm very serious about something, apparently. But it was so easy to fall into this shiny object syndrome where I saw people crushing it on Instagram and I'm like, I'm gonna be an Instagram influencer. And then I saw people crushing it on YouTube and I'm like, I'm gonna do YouTube. And then I saw people crushing it on blogging and I'm like, well, I'm going back to blogging. And I just never gave it the proper time that it deserved to develop into anything that I was super proud of and like wanted to continue to grow. So if you have a blog that you are building, there's probably more to it than just time, but make sure that you give it the time it deserves to develop into something, into all that it could be. Something that I would suggest. Oh my goodness, you guys. I could talk about this stuff forever. I absolutely love it. And all of the comments and messages that I get from you guys remind me that, you know, I'm not alone. And hopefully that's what this video is for you too. Just knowing that this blogging journey isn't just snap of the fingers and everything's perfect and you're growing and have a part-time gig and making tons of money. Like, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of figuring it out. Sometimes it takes a lot of luck, and mostly it takes committing to it and sticking with it and being willing to navigate those learning curves and like push through. Yeah, this one, looking back and just thinking about the different blogs that I've created before Each Day Slow, I mean, man, they've all played a part in getting me to where I am now. And I'm just really grateful for that, and for all of you guys. So thanks for being here on this with me. Let me know about your blogging experience or where you are on your journey, or some things that you wish you would have known when you first started blogging. Go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Guys, we are on our way to 700 subscribers, and that is, again, just like thinking of the journey of getting to almost 1,000 YouTube subscribers is like insane, and I can't wait to talk about my experience with that as well. That's for another video. In the meantime, have a wonderful day. Good luck blogging. Let me know if I can help with anything, and yeah. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, bye guys.